I found out that my girlfriend is having an affair with another guy, so I quietly left without telling her. Now she found me and asked me to forgive her. I'd been living with my girlfriend for years. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. We had a routine: work, home, food, sleep, repeat. I thought we were solid. Then I found out she was sleeping with some other guy. It wasn't like I caught her in the act or anything dramatic. I just noticed her phone lighting up at weird hours, saw a few messages she didn't bother hiding. She wasn't even subtle about it. The guy's name was there, some dude I'd never heard of. Didn't know him, didn't care to. I didn't dig deeper or confront her. What was the point? It was done. I packed my stuff one day while she was out, grabbed my clothes, my laptop, a few random things I cared about, and left. No note, no text, no nothing. I just walked out the door and didn't look back. We'd been together long enough that I figured she'd notice eventually, but I wasn't about to make a scene. I got a cheap place across town, nothing fancy, just somewhere to crash. That was it. I was out. After I left, I didn't check on her. I blocked her number, deleted my old social media accounts, and started fresh. A few weeks later, I heard through some random online chatter that she was posting everywhere about me. She was telling anyone who'd listen that I'd dumped her out of nowhere, that I was some jerk who walked out without a word. She even started saying I'd run off to some mistress, which was laughable. I didn't have anyone else, never did. She was the one cheating, not me. I didn't bother correcting her story. We didn't have mutual friends anyway. I never cared about her crowd, and she didn't care about mine. Her posts got wilder over time, painting me as this heartless guy who abandoned her for no reason. I saw screenshots floating around on a few platforms, but I just scrolled past. It didn't matter. I wasn't mad or hurt anymore. I was just done. She could say whatever she wanted. I had my new place, my job, my routine. That was enough. Her little online tantrum wasn't my problem. I figured she'd move on eventually, and I was right. Word got around that she started dating the guy she'd been messing with. Didn't surprise me. I didn't care enough to keep tabs, but people talk. It was her life now, not mine. Her new relationship didn't last long. I heard it fell apart in a couple of months. Don't know the details, didn't ask. Maybe the guy got bored, maybe she did. Either way, it wasn't my business. I'd settled into my new spot by then, a small apartment with cheap rent and no memories of her. Life was quiet. I liked it that way. Then one day, out of nowhere, she showed up at my door. I don't even know how she found me. I hadn't told anyone where I moved, but there she was, standing in the hallway looking like she hadn't slept in days. She started talking fast, saying she was sorry, that she'd messed up. She admitted the affair, said it was a mistake, and that she'd been wrong about everything. I just stood there, listening. She kept going, saying she wanted me back, that I'd loved her better than anyone ever had. She was scared she'd never find someone like me again. It was a lot of words, but none of them meant anything. I'd heard enough. I told her she shouldn't have come, that I didn't want her in my life anymore. My voice was flat, no yelling, no emotion. She stared at me, eyes wide, like she couldn't believe it. Then she turned and left. I shut the door and went back to my couch. That was it. A few days after she showed up, I saw her posting online again. She was back at it, flooding her social media with long rants. This time, it wasn't just about me, it was about everything. She wrote about how the whole world had turned its back on her, how no one cared, how she was alone. She made it sound like some big tragedy, like she was the victim of everyone and everything. I scrolled through a couple of her posts out of curiosity. They were full of self-pity, talking about how she'd lost the one person who'd ever really loved her, me, I guess. It was almost funny. She cheated, lied, and then tried to flip it all around like I'd done her wrong. I didn't feel bad for her. I didn't feel much at all. She'd made her choices, and now she was dealing with them. Her posts got more desperate over time, begging for attention from whoever was still following her. I didn't comment or react. No point. She wasn't my problem anymore. I'd already moved on, new place, new habits, new life. Her showing up at my door didn't change that. I wasn't angry or bitter. I just didn't care. She could cry to the internet all she wanted. It wasn't going to pull me back in. I blocked her again and kept living. Life stayed simple after that. I went to work, came home, cooked dinner, watched some shows. It wasn't exciting, but it was mine. I didn't think about her much. She'd pop into my head sometimes, but it was more like a random memory than anything I dwelt on. Meanwhile, her online meltdown kept going. I'd see snippets from people who still followed her, screenshots passed around like gossip. She was doubling down, saying she'd been betrayed by everyone, that no one understood her pain. She even started hinting that I'd ruined her life by leaving. That one made me laugh. I didn't ruin anything, she did that herself. Her posts got less frequent after a while, but they were still there, popping up every few weeks. She'd write about being lonely, about how love wasn't real, about how she'd never recover. It was dramatic, but it didn't faze me. I wasn't keeping score or waiting for her to crash. I just didn't care. My days were steady, and that's what I wanted. She tried to drag me back into her mess when she showed up, but I'd shut that down fast. I wasn't her safety net. She'd figured that out the hard way. Her sob stories online weren't going to change my mind. I was done long before she knocked on my door. Months passed, and I barely noticed. My routine was solid: work, gym, home. I even started picking up some hobbies, like fixing old electronics. Kept my hands busy. Her name stopped coming up in my thoughts. Then one day, I saw a post she'd written that got shared by some random account I followed. It was long, rambling about how she'd hit rock bottom. She said she'd lost everything: her friends, her happiness, me. She wrote that I'd been the only good thing in her life, and now she had nothing. It was the same pity party, just louder. I skimmed it and moved on. Didn't reply, didn't care. She was still dating that guy when I left, so this whole "I was her everything" line was nonsense. She'd picked him over me, then crashed when it fell apart. That wasn't my fault. I didn't owe her a second chance. Her showing up at my place hadn't moved me, and neither did this. She was still out there, chasing sympathy from strangers online. I wasn't one of them. My life was fine without her, better even. I had my own space, my own rules. She could keep her chaos. I wasn't mad or smug about it. I just didn't have room for her anymore. Her words were noise, nothing more. By then, I'd been on my own for almost a year. I'd upgraded my apartment, nothing fancy, just a better spot with more light. Work was steady, and I'd even made a couple of casual friends through the gym. Life was good. Her online stuff kept trickling in though. She hadn't stopped posting. Now it was less about me and more about her being broken. She'd write about how she couldn't trust anyone, how she'd never love again. She'd tag it with sad hashtags, fishing for likes. I saw one where she said she lost her soulmate because of her own stupidity. I rolled my eyes. Soulmate? She'd been screwing some random guy behind my back. I wasn't buying the regret act. She only wanted me when her other options ran dry. When she came to my place begging, I'd seen through it. She didn't miss me, she missed the stability. I wasn't her fix. Her posts were getting old anyway. Fewer people commented, fewer shared. She was fading out, and I wasn't surprised. I didn't check on her myself, just saw what popped up. Didn't matter. I was busy living. She could have had that with me, but she chose differently. Now she was stuck with the fallout. I didn't laugh at it anymore. It was just there, like background noise I'd learned to ignore. Time kept moving. I hit a year and a half since I walked out. My life was mine again, clean, quiet, no drama. I'd fixed up my place with some second-hand furniture, made it feel like home. Work gave me a small raise, and I started saving up. I didn't think about her unless someone brought her up, which was rare. Her online presence had shrunk. She still posted sometimes, but it was sporadic, short updates about being lonely or vague complaints about life. The big sob stories had dried up. Maybe she'd run out of steam, or maybe people stopped caring. I didn't know, didn't check. One time, a guy I knew from work mentioned seeing her profile. Said she looked rough, like she wasn't doing well. I nodded and changed the subject. Didn't need the update. She'd made her bed, slept in it, then cried about it online. That was her pattern. When she tracked me down and asked for forgiveness, I'd shut her out. That was the last time I dealt with her directly. Her posts after that were just echoes, getting quieter every month. I didn't feel bad for her. I didn't hate her either. She was just someone I used to know. My days were full without her, work, projects, a beer with friends sometimes. She wasn't part of it anymore. It's been 2 years now since I left. I'm in a good spot, better job, decent place, a life that fits me. I don't hear about her much anymore. Her social media's gone quiet, from what I've seen. Last I knew, she'd posted something months back about starting over, but I didn't read it. Didn't care. She's a ghost from my past, nothing more. Looking back, finding out about her affair was the push I needed. I'd been coasting with her, stuck in a routine that wasn't even that great. When I walked out, I didn't know what I'd do, but it worked out. She tried to spin it like I'd wrecked her, first with her breakup posts, then with her begging at my door. I didn't buy it. She wrecked herself, cheated, lost her guy, then lost her grip. Her online rants were loud for a while, but they faded. She wanted me to feel guilty, to run back and fix her mess. I didn't. I laughed at her posts sometimes, sure, but mostly I just moved on. Now she's nothing to me. I've got my own thing going, and it's solid. She can keep her pity party. I'm not invited, and I wouldn't show up anyway. That's where it ends, me here, her somewhere else, and no reason to cross paths again.